Hello everyone, welcome back to GAD 102, Visual Development and Concept Design, week 15, Tuesday. For the past couple weeks we've been doing different materials like steel, crystals, jewelry, that kind of stuff. And now we're going to get into how to do wood. Okay, we're going to be using this reference. Okay, we have some what are they called? A color palette right here that we're going to use, and we also have a foundation, just a cube. Okay. So based on this cube, we're going to have the different sides of darks to lights. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, over here on the layers panel, we have our color palette and we have our cube. We're going to go ahead and create a new layer. And let's go ahead and box this in. We're going to go to the polygonal lasso tool. You can use the L key on your keyboard to get that. And let me go ahead and zoom in. We're just going to draw in the box like so, just to get this started. Okay. And we're going to set this with a base color. So I'm going to get my paint bucket with G. I'm going to hold Alt to select probably the mid color. This one is a good mid color, and I'm just gonna color that in like that. Okay, so we have our base right here. Now what we're gonna need to do is color the top and the side. So let's go ahead and start with this shadow side. So we'll actually, you know what, we're gonna go up here to a new layer, and I'm going to clip this. Go ahead and clip this. Pretty clippy mask. And I'm going to start with another polygonal lasso tool and start cutting off the edges. Like so. And it doesn't have to be precise, right? We're only caring about this segment right here, and because it's using the shape below it's clipped, we shouldn't see anything coming out. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and go ahead and get this G, paint it like that. So we have our dark, and for our light we'll do something like this. Okay, we'll go ahead and this one, Control D, and let's go ahead and come here with the lasso tool. Make sure that you follow the guidelines as close as you can. Man, it's not clicking. There we go. What is going on? It wasn't clicking with my mouse. Let me try with my pen. There we go. That's better. All right. Same thing. Get my paint bucket and just go ahead and paint that. Okay, I'm gonna hit Control D. So I've got my three sides. Okay, if I were to get rid of my cube, there we go. We're good right there. And then we'll go ahead and delete that. Let me go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Get my lasso tool. Come up here. And like I said, just clean this up. Get my brush tool. There we go. Cool. All right. So we have our sides. All right. If I were to unclip this, remove the clipping mask like so, you'd see how it kind of does that. Like I said, you could have done that to the top, but I didn't. I was focused on why it wasn't dropping. All right. So we have our base colors. Okay. And let's go ahead and get started. Let me actually just make sure that this is here too. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me see, look at this. Put the line back up there. what color do I want? Do I want to stay this color? Let me see. Oh. That, or do I want to do this? No, I'll keep it this. Control. Okay, now I can get rid of this. All right. So we have our base layer right here, right? What we want to do is start coming up with a more natural shape to this, okay? And the way we're going to want to do that is by adding a layer mask to our base shape, okay? So let's rename this. We'll call this base colors, and we'll call this shape, like so. And I'm going to add a layer mask to this. Now again, everything is white here, and everything that is white is opaque, everything is black is not. So I'm going to switch this to black, get my brush, and I want to make sure that I have a hard round pressure and soft round pressure opacity. I can switch back and forth between these. If you want to have your brushes here, you can just come to Windows, Brushes, and it should bring it in here, or have it floating around here. If you see it floating like this, you can just drag it like that into the panels bar. But we're going to want a hard round pressure opacity. And from there, with black as our front palette, we're going to go ahead and just start kind of cutting this out a little bit. And take some time to just build something or make it look a little bit natural, right, in terms of the shape. This can take a little bit of time, so just have some fun with it, okay? I like coming around here and just kind of, you know, seeing, okay, what does wood look like, right? It's never straight like it is right here. It's very kind of chipped away, or has you know, never like super smooth edges, right? So we want to add that same kind of silhouette, because remember, silhouette is super important. You want to keep track as to where some of these notches are coming. This isn't obviously going to be your final. We're just feeling out how we want this to look. Here, let me go ahead and make this bigger. It's a little much. And welcome back. So there's a little bit of an error last time where I left the shading on one layer and then the scratches and such on a different. So I'm redoing it. Okay. So let's go ahead and clip a new layer, and we're going to call this shading, or texture, I should say. And the way this is going to work is if I'm trying to add texture on this side, I'm going to sample this color. If I'm going to take samples from up here, or add texture up here, I'm going to reference this side. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to get the hard round pressure brush, and I'm going to just start adding strokes, right? And I know you're probably like, well, why not use the soft round brush? Well, that's because it won't give you decent texture. You see those lines? That's giving me texture, right? And that's what I want, because this is organic, and organic things have texture to them. All right, it'll take some time to blend some of this together, but that is okay. It's just going to get you used to fundamental stuff. Now, as I'm rendering this, you're going to want to sample different colors here in the middle and blend them together, right? Do a little bit of blending, right? Just like so. that's coming together. Yep. Go ahead and grab that again. And this up here, really get some of the darks. Those darks in. Right. There we go. It's starting to come together. There we go. You can make some adjustments here and there if you need to, but I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to do the same thing for the top. So I'm going to sample this side color here, and I'm going to start just kind of adding some of this stuff like that. Make sure you go back and forth between the two textures, right? Because like I said, this does want to be, you do want to have texture here. You can kind of get smaller with your brush as well if you want to have more refined. Like so. I do have it curved. You'll notice that I am kind of curving it as well. Okay, this is just giving me texture. I can always go back as well and just erase the sides that I kind of bled over on, like so. Alright, just like that. And yeah, okay, now we have our texture on this side and this side. What about the darkest side? Well, you can sample some of these. I'm actually going to use the red because why not? And make this big again, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to start adding that texture in. And the red. There we go. Nice gradient at the bottom, on the top, like so. And this does take time, like I said. Look how much time it's taken for us to render this. But when you're done, you should have some kind of texture, right? Some basic shading. Okay, here's where the fun starts. We're going to go ahead and create a new layer, and we're going to clip that, and we're going to put lines, like tree lines. Tree lines. And this is where we're start adding our first layer of details. Right, so I'm going to sample this dark color up here. Actually, let me go ahead and do this lighter color up here. I'm going to sample this. Get my brush, make this nice and fine, like that, and I'm going to start adding cuts, like so. Okay, and we want this to be as organic as possible, so make sure you are following kind of these lines, right? Because wood does have cracks, right? And we'll come back and add to this later, but right now we're just kind of building this out, right? Building these blocks, these kind of tree cracks out. We're giving this thing character, right? That's essentially what we are doing. So go ahead and do something like that. Hit eraser for that. All right. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and sample this and just start, following it down a little bit. You have something like that. Go down here. Actually, have it come up here as well. Maybe this kind of meets here. This can kind of branch out up here. Right. Like I said, we're adding personality to this, and giving it character. Right. And that's the most important thing, is trying to make this look as interesting as possible, right? That's the most important thing, is how can I make this sell? How can we make this look cool, right? Let me go ahead and come up here. And you know what, I'm going to kind of get this red and do the same thing over here. Can I bring this down, bring this up, make that a big cut. Yeah, I like that. And some of the stuff you can't really see, so if that is the case, get some of this other darker stuff to really accentuate some of those lines, right? Especially the super darker sides. Right. As you come up, switch back to red. So I'll do that. Make sure I have that sampled. Have this come actually out here. Yeah, just, you know, start adding some kind of give it a story. Add some big gashes, right? Like, I mean, I'm adding a big gash right here. This is actually pretty big, but why not? I'm going to come back and make adjustments to this. Go ahead and erase some of this. There we go. That looks better. There we go. Now, like I said, what's important is to try to make this as visually appealing as possible. A big part of that is experimenting with different shapes and different kind of colors. Make that smaller. Go ahead and get some of that. Alright, we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. Zoom out, see this. I think the top needs a little bit more personality. Now what's going to sell these edges is, see how I come up here and then kind of break that off that way? That's going to sell the corner. That is a block of wood, right? If you just go straight up, that's not really going to sell it. You want to follow kind of the perspective of this, right? So go ahead and do that. And just like that. There we go. And it's starting to really come together. Do some of that, and there we go. There we go. That's good in there. I am liking that. Get some more dark. The wood. Dark, dark. All right, that looks like it is coming together. It's looking pretty dang good so far. There's obviously some more things I can do to make this a little bit sharper, like, okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Let me sample that. Come in here, really make this. So I'm just thicking those lines out. Color them in, not make them so sloppy. Oh, so that works. Okay. Cool. I think that's working pretty well. So now what we're going to do is some basic highlights, right? And shadows. We're going to work on adding depth. Now, when we think about light, little lighting 101 is, say for example, we have just a crack, like I'm going to say, like, say for example, we have a crack, like so, right? And the light is coming down this way. It's not going to really hit this top section. It's going to hit here, right? So when we start lighting this, we want to be aware of which direction the light is coming from. So if the light is coming from this direction, it's not going to hit this. This is going to stay dark. It's going to hit this. So I'm going to take these kind of samples up here, and then I'm just going to draw a little kind of line like that along, right? And I'm just going to start going along the edges. So for example, light's kind of coming right here a little bit, maybe up here along the edge, and it's really going to start making it pop now, right? See that? It's really starting to make it pop. And we're going to just do that for all of our little cuts. All right, we'll come in here and just start adding the light pass. And let's make sure we clip this as well. I'm going to get rid of that. Well, I got rid of it. And we'll go ahead and come up here. See, it's really starting to make some of those pop now. Come up here. Now, for the darker areas, like here, what we can do is grab this, and we can do the same thing here. We can kind of just add, like, darkness, like so, right? Kind of have it tapered in like that. Right, same thing up here. You're gonna have a lot of the darkness here, kind of closer to the away from the light. As it gets darker, or as the cut gets deeper in, it gets darker, right? So it's important to like keep that in mind. Okay. Just add some of that lighting. Get some of that up here. Oh, not that big. Shrink that down. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is starting to come together. And if I want some really light areas, like up here, I do have the lighter yellow that you can reference. Sorry, that's very annoying. And you're just going to do the same thing, right? You're just going to kind of start adding that light to these little bits at the top. And that, I'll go ahead and start coloring some of that shadow in. Right, and now it's really starting to like pop, right? I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to add this color of lighting to this over here. Right. Just like that. Right. Even though there isn't a lot of light here, it kind of does bounce a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of that. And then, like I said, it does make it pop a little bit because it is on that corner edge. What you can do as well to blend this is just kind of sample and then just kind of go over everything like so. Cool. All right. That's coming together well, but now we have a lot of these little, what are they called? Weird squiffle lines, and we need to clean up our texture. So I'm just going to start selecting some of this lighter bit and just start coloring this in. Right, kind of like all in here. Just, color all this so it's some kind of the same color. Right. There we go. Alright, and don't color close to the dark scratches. We actually do want to avoid those a little bit because we are going to lighten those up a bit. But this will help us kind of block out how everything's supposed to look. Okay. Go ahead and add some more detail here. Alright, now what we're going to do from here is I'm going to sample one of these lighter colors, and I'm going to just start going along some of the edges here. Right? Kind of like adding light along here, along these edges. Really start brightening this up along the edges. Okay. Go ahead and increase the size of this. See how you kind of have like this nice white, almost kind of outline? That's essentially what you want. You want that nice white outline. Think of scar tissue, right? As you get scar tissue on a cut or a wound, it's kind of white along the outside. That's kind of what you're doing here. Similar kind of situation, right? And I'm just gonna blah 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 blend it in. blend it in a little bit. Like so. Come over here. Alright, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some light, some general light. It's coming together pretty well. It's not bad. I'm going to bring this over here. Yeah, it's not bad. Right? Okay, so we have our basic texture. We should probably add some little bit more details though. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and come over here and kind of add some lighting to really make it pop a little bit. There we go. Really pull up that light. There we go. Let me add some more details over here. I kind of left this alone a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and just kind of a little bit more. Go ahead and grab some of these little super darks. There we go. It's starting to really come together. And that's essentially how you do wood. Pretty straightforward. Well, it's not straightforward. It is tough. It takes a lot of time. But that's essentially, yeah, how you can get wood. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message at garciana@lahc.edu. And yeah, I will chat with you later. All right, take care.